Hey guys, Steel Ovan here. Today we're back with some Modification Mania. These are one of my favorite videos to make. This one I'm christening the hardware episode. You guys will probably see why throughout the video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. These are just what I've been modifying on my knives for the past several weeks. So first off, very minor modification on my XM18 3.5 inch. That's my work one with the micarta scale on it that I dyed and whatnot. But this one I bought a DLT Trading over travel stop for, anodized green. This is an actual Hinderer one. But it came with another hardware set that I got, which you guys will see later in the video. So there's the first piece of kit we modified. Throw that out there. Next up, you guys have seen this very recently. The Utilizer 2.0 by Spectrum Energetics. A really cool folding knife. Folding utility knife here with changeable blades. And this one, the mod that I did on it is I was playing with 9-volt anodizing. There's a channel on YouTube that you guys should really check out if you want to play with anodizing. His name is SharpKnifeNuts. I'll link him down in the description. But he shows you how to anodize titanium using 9-volt batteries chained together, and pretty basic materials. So definitely go check his video out. It's pretty neat, and I played around with his technique on several of these pieces. So this one I just anode gold, and when you get your finger oils on it, it actually almost shows through pink behind it, which is kind of cool. It's a really vibrant, I don't know if it's picking up, but it's really vibrant gold color there, and then it kind of changes to pink where you touch it. And of course you can Windex it up and it will be uniform again, but that's just sort of how a patina is with use. So there's that little guy. Get him out here. Next, another very minor mod. This is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive Victorinox Tinkerer. There we go. It's their exclusive with this cool little trash panda raccoon on there, jumping out of a garbage bin with his banana pistols. I just thought that was really funny. And I like the baby blue coloring. What's cool about this is it's actually got more depth to it. There's actually white that shows through, so I think the camera's picking that up pretty well. And on the back, it's got these footprints and the banana and whatnot. So this is just a standard Tinkerer model. Nothing's different. You can look up what all this has. It's got screwdrivers, bottle opener, can opener, 2 knives, a full-size big one that I just had out, and then a shorter one. But the mod that I did on this guy is I got a Firefly ferro rod for it. So there you go, a tiny little fire steel that replaces your toothpick on a Swiss Army knife. This is the large size. There's also smaller sizes for like the Victorinox SD, the classic size. But this one's a larger one. And I like that the yellow fluorescent top of it matches the banana peel on here. So I think that's a really fun little mod. I'm not going to strike it under the camera. I don't want to mess up my background, but there that is. I first saw these guys advertised. They were advertising the classic size and the Tinkerer model, which is the one I went for, at Blade 21, which I was just at. Unfortunately, they were out of stock there, so I had to order it online, and I got it a couple weeks later. So, super stoked for that little guy. It's my first real Victorinox knife. I've had the tiny classics before, but this is my first actual SAK. So I'm super stoked about that one. Next up is another blade you guys haven't seen. This is very exciting to me. It is a Holt Haptic. Super wicked, precise custom knife here. This one I won one of their lotteries several months ago. You guys just haven't seen it yet. It came from the Holtz, anodized, like lime fluorescent green on the handles, and the hardware was all polished satin. And that was okay, but you know me, I gotta make my stuff my own. So I took the whole thing down, stripped the anodizing off here with Wink's rust remover, leaving that really cool matte gray finish. And then using those 9-volt batteries method, I anodized the hardware blue along with this back spacer. So this is a really, really awesome knife. The action on it is absolutely to die for. Wicked drop shutty. Everything on it is perfect. I've been carrying this. You can see there's some scratches and whatnot on it. And up here, you're wondering what those two little brown marks are up there. Well, when you are home anodizing with a very ghetto setup, if you manage to touch your titanium wire to your ground when it's in the acid bath, it will light the titanium wire up to a glowing white hot, and it will melt to anything that it's touching. So yes, I may or may not have melted that titanium on the end of my brand new Holt Haptic, which is fine. I'm intending to use this. This is a very expensive knife, but compared to like the Holt Spectre, it is much more common, and I don't feel bad about using this at all. It's definitely set up to have a user blade shape and kind of profile. So that's really cool. Another modification that I did to this guy was I bought different bearings actually from JillianKnives.com. Here's his information. He's on Blade Forms. He actually makes knives, and he also sells bearings on his website. He also has a YouTube channel, so go check him out on all of his platforms here. Very cool guy that makes a great product. I've oogled his knives on Blade Forms many times. He has a very cool star pattern folder that he makes. Anyhow, but he made these awesome ceramic bearings. They're the salt and pepper ones, so they have black and white ceramic balls on them. And they're encased in I believe it's brass or bronze cage. But they're so much smoother than the standard steel, run-of-the-mill steel cage ball bearings that most folders come with. So just look at this. This is without any oil or anything. It's just like absolutely drop shut with no friction whatsoever. And it bumped this thing's action up to an amazing 10 for me. Which is not the only thing I look for in a knife, but it was cool. This is a record-setting level of smoothness, at least for me. So that's another cool mod I did. I definitely recommend you guys check those out. Next up, we got here's my XM18 3.5 inch stonewash Bowie here. And I changed I had a black faux bolster scale from DLT on there, and I swapped it back to the black and blue G10 factory one from Hinderer. I just like the look of it a little bit better, and to switch it up. And then I anodized this cool hardware here. I bought a set of hardware from DLT. That's where the over travel stop came from. And they were all anodized this green color, but I wanted them blue. So I stripped them all down and re-anodized them with that battery method. So this is with two 9 volts hooked together. There's a higher one that I'll show you. So there's these guys. Came with standoffs, so I anodized the standoffs as well. And here's the lock side. This is a gray precision over travel stop, anodized blue purple. That was already on there. This is the pivot just showing through. That anodized that blue, same color as the back. And here, this is actually a different voltage that I did than this one. These are 2, and these are, I think, 7 or 9 or something. And these were to sort of match this guy here, which is like a blue purple. You can see where I touch it with my hands, it turns purple. So that is what I did for this guy. And of course, I changed out the pocket clip and filler tab screws for black screws here. I think I got those at DLT, but I'm not sure. Just adds a little bit of character and interest to this knife. And I think it looks really freaking cool now. One of my favorite XM18s that I've seen. So there's that bad boy. And I got, let's see what else we got here. Ooh, you guys have seen this knife already. This is the Olamic Busker, but that was a bad deployment with this under the camera and the lanyard and whatnot. Now the hardware on it has been anodized purple, blue purple, blurple, whatever you want to call it. We're getting bad focus here. But there you go, there's that awesome looking hardware, pop of color, and I think adds a lot of interest to the knife. You can see on the pivot it's blue purple like that. Very cool. I really like it. I think it's a cool modification to this knife. Here's the backspacer. This was heat anodized previously, but I think it goes well with the more vibrant colors on it. And another mod that I threw on here. This is a City Dweller pocket clip, or lanyard, I should say, / pocket clip. Goes through the lanyard hole, nice and long, and so then you just drop this thing in your pocket, clip this to your pocket, and it looks like you have a pen just in your pocket. So nobody can tell that you're carrying a knife or otherwise. Just looks like a pen. So very cool. I haven't used this one extensively because I just got it, but on a tiny knife like this, it's cool because I can drop it in my pocket like a slip joint or something, but then have it be very accessible. And it's just, I think it's a really cool little trinket piece of kit. So I'll get this guy out here. And I got one more for you guys. Last but not least, here is the Hinderer Eclipse. This is the stone-washed Tonto. But I finally got a carbon fiber scale for it. So when I went to Blade, I talked to the man himself, Mr. Rick Hinderer, which is super cool. And he said that they were going to make some carbon fiber scales in the near future. That was one of the deciding factors for why I purchased the Eclipse, is I was excited that they were going to have some other scales for it soon. So I went ahead and bought a factory carbon fiber scale there. Perfectly fits the Hinderer, and I don't think it's too boring. It's not that regular square. It's sort of rounded and has more flow than a really cookie cutter boring carbon fiber. It's not any marbled carbon fiber, which I think I prefer a little bit, but I really like this as well. Very cool. And of course you can see these black Hinderer screws here. These were from Hinderer too. And on this side, you guys can see Hinderer's, the screws for the backspacers. I threw these black screws on here and here. This right here is from Sharp Just Knives, stickers down there. This is a carbon fiber filler tab to match the scale here, which I think is pretty sweet. The carbon fiber is almost exactly the same. Very good match. And eventually I may get a black pivot screw or get this one coated, but we'll see. And last but not least on this guy, I don't know if you can see it in there, but there is a The over travel stop is zirconium. It has been orange peeled. This is made by Gray Precision, a Gray Precision over travel stop. So that is really rad. Why is this having so much trouble focusing? There we go. So that's a really cool, there we go. Boom, Gen 6 Hinderer Eclipse in 20 CV. Very cool. So that is the last one for this Modification Mania. They weren't super extravagant modifications. They didn't seriously alter the knives really. These are mostly just plug and play and me messing around with stuff. But I still had a lot of fun doing all of these, and I hope to continue modifying knives in the future. Leave a like and a comment on this video if you made it this far. I'd love to hear from you guys, maybe which one's your favorite, or if you guys are doing any cool knife mods that maybe I should try out, or you'd like me to see in the future. So with that being said, everybody have a great rest of your day. Bye.